Hey, you came back. Awesome. Just up here enjoying the view at the top of my base right now. As you can see, I'm up here at the Highlands, and it is a beautiful view. That's actually why I built here, is because the green grass actually looks pretty nice. I was unaware though when I built here how lucky I am to be near a lot of resources. Right over there, where it's red, is the redwoods. So there's plenty of trees and resources right over there. It's not too far away. I actually just get on my quetz, put my mammoth on the top of my quetz, and fly over there and harvest, a few thousand wood at a time. It's well worth it. It's not too far away. It's pretty nice. Right over there, actually, in the water right over there in the bay, there's actually a really good place for silica pearls. And I have a couple sharks and anglerfish over there to harvest a good amount of silica pearls, all the silica pearls I need. I'll show that in another video. But one of the main resources up here in the Highlands that I wasn't really aware of when I first built here. I built here for the view. One of the best resources is metal, and actually on top of the hill there you can see a couple metal nodes by the windmill up there. One of the best resources is metal here, and that's how I built my whole base out of metal. There's plenty of metal up here. I'm going to show you the process here. If you look here, this is my quetz contraption. Build a metal structure around the quetz. Obviously you have to have the quetz platform to build a structure on it, and this is the one I went with. It is a 3 by 4 metal structure. Now if you look up there at the top where you ride and you see his platform, you can see that I sunk the foundations down inside of them. If you don't know how to do this, there's plenty of videos out there that show you how to sink the foundations down inside the platform. That goes with any platform and also the raft. Now when you go to do this, you can see there's a little area where it's not sunken down to the platform all the way. If you go any further than where I've gone there, and you actually go down past the platform, it could be a problem. I did this once with a raft, and I could not access the platform anymore to demolish it or anything. I actually had to destroy the whole raft. So if you start building on it, you're going to waste resources if you go too deep. You will not be able to delete it. So up from the top here, you can see I have 6 foundations here, 2 rows of 3, and then up here in the front I have hatch frames. Now the reason I have hatch frames up here is for a couple reasons. Right here I can access the quetz platform and actually ride it like this. I can do that from that spot or this spot, anywhere. It just allows you to where you don't have to come up to his neck and ride him that way, or actually drop down. You might be in a dangerous situation. You don't want to risk, falling off of him. So that's why I like having the hatch frame here. Obviously, we have a hatch frame here, so we can go down inside. Let's go see what's down inside here. We have a keypad. That's going to come in handy later. I'll show you why. So if we have a keypad, we obviously have electricity. And you come over here and you will see I have a generator and a refrigerator and a bed, and you couldn't have missed this on the way in. It is an industrial grill. I put this on here because I was over like halfway across the map where there's a lot more brontos that spawn, and I was getting a lot of prime meat. Obviously if you played Ark any amount of time at all, you'll know that prime meat expires very quickly, so I just went ahead and put this on here so I can cook it on the run. So I did pretty large, cooked prime meat runs with this thing. And you can store it in the fridge. So in the fridge, I just carry a few vegetables, medical brews. I take medical brews everywhere I go, as I've said before. The reason being, all my levels are into weight, because I like to do a lot of building, moving stuff around. I feel like if you have medical brews, you have good fur, you have, you don't need movement speed if you're riding dinos all the time. You really don't need all that stuff if you have, other things that make up for it, basically. So I take medical brews everywhere. Got vegetables because I use them for food and for water. No sense in bringing water and food separately. That's all in one when you have vegetables. So in this structure I have no ladders. There's no way to get out except for, actually you can squeeze through here. When I built this, I was trying to make it to where there was not an area to where you can get in and out, but it just so happens that you can actually squeeze through here. If it was lined up a little better, I don't think you would be able to. The way that it's designed to where you have to get out is you actually have to come up to the quetz and hit triangle to ride them, and it puts you right up on top on the driver's seat. That's how you get in and out. Well, actually that's how you get out. And also from this spot, when you're outside, you access the quetz, boom, put you right up on top. It's kind of like an elevator. So I'm pretty sure you could not have missed that contraption in the back there. I have a windmill in the back. It's my propeller. Now it doesn't actually propel anything, obviously, but it does look kind of cool. That's why I have it there, just for looks. Well, not just for looks. It actually helps save gas with my generator. It is hooked up. You see there it's yellow right now, so it's actually running, and my generator is not running. So for just having, he's just sitting around most of the time, you don't have to use the electricity very often, so it comes in handy to save gas because you don't use it very often. And then obviously right here I have a wooden ramp. Now you can make this out of metal or anything. I just had it wooden because I just never changed it. So I'm going to show you how I harvest metal with this thing. It is designed basically for harvesting metal. I'll show you how. And we have our Anki here. Very high on melee. Way past the point where you get the maximum amount of metal out of each node. I'm going to go ahead and write them up here and position them right here in the front left corner. You see here I have a light post. It actually has a couple different uses, the light post does, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, and I'm just going to jump off of him, and he is going to stay right there in the corner. Alright, so these are my high weight RGs. If you really want to go on a long metal run, because you can go all over the Highlands, there's metal everywhere, you're going to want to bring some high level RGs. What I'd like to do is I'll have them follow me, because if they're following you, obviously they're not sitting on the platform, and it will not count as weight on the quetz. So if you bring some high level RGs or high level anything to follow you, to hold metal, you could stay out longer and keep harvesting. I'm probably just going to do a shorter run since we're just doing a video, but that's how I would do it if I was going to go all over the Highlands, get thousands and thousands of metal. Looks like the volcano's going off over there in the distance. Pretty cool. Alright, so I have my Anki, and I think I am ready to go. I'm going to come over here to this first metal node here. I'm going to show you a couple things. So when I first made this quetz and I got the Anki, because I never really did metal before, like this before, and when I first made this, I used to just walk up to the metal like this and try to get as close as I could. Now the Anki can actually hit the metal from up here. If you didn't sink the foundations as far down as I did, you're probably not going to be able to hit it. So that's why it's also important to sink the foundations down as far as I have, at least, because the Anki needs to have range in order to hit the metal. Now if you see here about the distance that he is away from the metal, it's still a pretty good distance. That's probably the maximum distance you can be away from the metal before it doesn't actually hit it. And this is what I did at first for a while, because I didn't know any other better way. And if you look at his foot down there on the bottom left, if you actually accidentally step on the metal like that, he's actually too far away now to hit the metal. He will not be able to hit it. And I ran into this problem forever, and metal runs used to take me a lot longer because I did this method. I just walk up to the metal. The quetz does not have a reverse, so you can't just back up off this thing, so I'd actually have to jump up, fly around, come all the way back around, and try to reposition. Now, this is the best part about this operation. I figured this out, how to get closer down in the metal. and you're going to want to stay flying is the key. Just stay flying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay flying. I'm not ever going to land. And as you can see, his feet are up, like his landing gear is up, so he can get down closer to the ground basically when you do this. So I'm just going to go down all the way down to the ground, and as soon as I get to metal, hit triangle. Boom. So I was actually skating across the ground because the quetz will not clip through the ground, but the structure will clip through the ground, through the rocks, through everything. Now what happened was when I did that, he's actually a lot closer to the ground. You see over there, he's actually touching the ground. If this wasn't on a hill, he would actually, he would be all the way against the ground. But he is pretty close. He's a lot closer than he was when we tried it the other way. He's just floating here like this. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back up here and jump off of him. Now I'm going to come over to the Inky, jump on him, and give a couple swings. Boom, got that piece. I think that's all there is. Ever since they changed the way the rocks look, it's hard, like it leaves a mesh you can't see underneath it, so that I don't really like that very much. Now here's a trick you may or may not know. You can actually choose what direction you want to jump off your Inky, either to the left or to the right. You can do this by holding the left analog stick either left or right. I'm going to want to jump off to the right, so I'm going to hold it all the way over before hitting triangle. When you hit triangle, you'll jump off whichever direction you're pointing, and then I'll look down and hit right. That is very efficient. So now I'm going to go to the next metal node. So a couple things that are pretty important. This structure will clip through these rocks. So you do need to be careful. Just go up to where you want to. Oh, he glitched a little bit. So let's go back on him and ride. Go a little bit closer. Boom, jumped off. He's pretty close to that metal node. Plenty close enough. Got it. Okay, I'm going to jump off to the right again. He's right there in the driver's seat, ready to go. Now, this is what I was talking about. This does take a while to get used to driving like this, because if I actually turned right, took a quick right here, I have a good chance that the left side of this structure is going to clip through that rock right there, and it's going to knock my Inky off. If you clip through the ground, through rocks, through any, landscaping, your quetz platform and anything you build on it will clip through it. But the dinosaurs sitting on top will not clip through it, and it'll actually scrape it right off of it. So you have to get used to the techniques that you use here. Instead of turning right and risking scraping off the Inky, I'm actually going to turn left, because the body of the quetz will not clip through the rock. It's just the structure that will. So I'm going to turn left, go up here like this. So I avoided scraping them off. That's going to come in handy. You'll do it a few times before you realize how much you're not going to want to scrape them off, because he is going to get encumbered if you keep going and going and going, get more and more metal. See, he's glitching here. I think it's because my Inky is just a little bit too close to the right. He should be over up against that light post. I'll show you how to reposition him here in a minute. So I got an unwanted regular rock there. So I cannot reach that metal node yet. I'm going to go ahead and get a little closer. There we go. Now as you can see here, my Inky is hanging off the front. He's not really in the position I wanted him in. He usually lasts a lot longer before he gets to this spot. I'm going to see if he's encumbered yet. He is not encumbered, so I can actually ride him. I'll show you here in a little bit, once he is encumbered, what you can do to get him back into place. Obviously at the beginning, like this, you could just ride him and put him back over here. Just put him up against the light post, not too far up, because it's going to affect the drivability of your quetz. So I'm going to turn left again here and try to avoid clipping through those rocks in it. It's a technique that you'll get used to. You'll know how to fly him after you mess up a few times, that's for sure. So I'm going to come down here. This is just a metal run I like to do. It's pretty convenient for me. Come down here to these metal nodes here. See, you can see that I'm actually clipped pretty close to this metal node here. See, look, the structure goes right through the landscape. Okay, see if I can hit any more. I cannot. I'm gonna move just a little bit closer. Now, people have been doing this method forever. I haven't really watched any videos about it, but I've heard about it. Usually, one person will drive, will fly the quetz, and the other person will stay on the Anki the whole time. And that's all well and good. That's, that's more efficient, actually, because you don't have to jump on and off the quetz. But one thing that makes this process a lot better, and you'll get a lot more metal from it, is because you don't have to share with the other person. This is all in one operation. And I am a tribe of one, so I don't really have the luxury of having someone else help me. Not to mention, you have to rely on that person being online at all times. If you get on here and no one else is on, this is the method you're going to want to go with. You can get plenty of metal on your own. Keep it all to yourself. That's the reason I do this method. I think it's pretty convenient anyway. It can't get much better, except for just, you jump off the Anki, you're right here on the quetz. You get off the quetz, you're right there by the Anki. It doesn't take really that much time to transfer back and forth. I actually jumped to the left there. All these rocks are in the way. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to continue harvesting and show you my path, but I'm probably just going to fast forward the video because this gets long and boring. No one wants to watch a video of someone harvesting metal all day. You have to be really careful when you're doing this spot. You can easily clip into the side of this cliff or any of these big rocks. That's why I'm hitting some of these big rocks to get them out of the way. You can easily lose your Anki here. So this is a good opportunity to show you that the Anki is not where he needs to be. He could actually be a little closer. And there is a Dillo attacking me. It's kind of annoying. Let's see if I can hit him. Yeah, I got 79 on him. Come on, where's he at? I wish this quetz had reverse. Okay, maybe he's dead. Okay, I'll just assume that he's dead. Nope. Come on. You're ruining the video, little guy. Finally. Level 100. Took my quetz quite a while. As you can see, I do not have any melee damage leveled up on my quetz. It's all on weight, because that's what he's made. That's what I use him for, is just harvesting. So you see the Anki is not where he should be. And this is going to happen, every once, as you keep going, he's going to move around a little bit. I'm not sure exactly why he does it, but he does it. If you accidentally clip into a rock or something, you could actually scrape him off, and you're going to need to get him back on here, and he is fully encumbered. You see here he's got lots of resources on him. And he will not be able to move for quite a while. So I like to store inside the quetz. I like to store, come on, a whip. And you probably need a few of them. I just keep them in there at all times, but I'm almost out of whips, so I only have one. So you're going to get the whip, and this is one of the main reasons that light post is there, that lamp post. Basically, you're going to whip him back up into the front, and that lamp post is going to get him right into position to where he doesn't go off the edge. See, he's all the way up in the front, and the light post kept him from going over. You can actually get a little bit closer than that, but I guess I'll press my luck. Let's see. There we go, over to the right just a little bit. That's a pretty good position for him. So if he falls off, gets scraped off or anything, you can actually whip him up this ramp. Whip him all the way back up this ramp, all the way back in the position, you'll be good. So it's very important to bring a whip with you. Got some hit markers going off in the distance over here, but I don't even remember having any stored dinos over here. That's when my dinos got out. Something's getting hit, that's for sure. Hitting at 16. What is that, a sheep? Guess when my sheep got out. Yep, Ovis, level 255. Oh well. They can have them. That's another good resource up here in the Highlands is the Ovises. Man, there's so many of them. Once you get up to making sweet cakes and everything, you're you got plenty of Ovises. You can start taming any really good carnivore, really. Pretty quick and easily. So as you see here, my quetz is flying pretty slow. He's actually encumbered. He's actually almost out of stamina too, so I'm going to go ahead and land him, let him regen some stamina. Come on, slow guy, let's go. Hit the land button, alright. So he's pretty encumbered because I have a massive amount of materials on this Anki. I'm going to drop off the stone. Let's see if this works. I'm going to search for stone. Okay, I searched for stone. I'm just going to drop all at this point. Hopefully this doesn't count for weight on the quetz. I've never actually tried this before. You see the bag sitting there? Sitting on the quetz. Let's see if it actually counts for weight or not. Nope, he is unencumbered. This is nice. The bag clipped right through. It's probably sitting down there on the ground. It'd actually be pretty cool if it stayed up there. Then you could just keep getting more and more resources, but it does despawn in 4 minutes, so that won't work anyway. But yeah, we're going to throw off any weight that we don't want. We're on a metal run. We're not on a stone run. I can actually get stone a lot more efficiently with a different process with my Doedicurus. Show that later on. Alright, and I'm almost done with my metal run that I usually run if I just need a little, a medium-sized amount of metal. If you want a lot of metal, there's plenty of metal all over the Highlands, particularly around those big rocks there that are sticking way up in the air. Around each one of those is a lot of metal. So if you just take, it's not even that far away either. If you just take this guy over there, you can get triple, like so much metal. I didn't add it up. I might add it up before I publish this video. But you can get lots and lots of metal up there. This metal is a little closer to my base, so I usually just do this circle. I like to harvest in circles, I guess. There's plenty of metal over on the other side of my base there too, by the lighthouse. There's a lot over there too as well. Really, you can, if you go harvesting this Highlands, you could harvest the whole Highlands before you run out of metal. By the time you get done, before you get halfway done, the first nodes that you started with are going to be regenerated by then. You could literally just keep going and going and going and going using this method up here in the Highlands. As you can see, it's actually starting to get dark, and you can see my light is working pretty well and actually highlights the metal. Especially at night, it looks pretty cool. Check it out. And these are the last two metal nodes I usually get whenever I'm doing this metal run. Let's go ahead and look and see how much we got. Okay, so I count by rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 6, 36. 3,600 plus 400. So about 4,000. 4,000 raw will be 2,000 cooked ingots. Now, I am on a boosted server. It is 2 times harvest. So I would have 2,000 ingots, so that means if you're on official, you're going to have 1,000 ingots. That's not really too long to get 1,000 ingots. That didn't take very long at all. I know the video is fast forward for you, but it actually didn't take that long in real time either. And we can keep these resources too. Now I'm going to show you something else that's pretty cool, how I have this set up. So I'm going to go ahead and land, because I can't get down inside this open pins and structure type in if he's
2222.
flying, because the wings are in the way. So I landed right here, and I'm going to come down inside here, and I'll show you the reason I have this touchpad. Typed in 2222, let's see what that happens. And I opened that door right there. So that's really handy when you have electricity on a quetz platform, because you can, before you come into your base, you can sit there and open your door, have it ready for you, or even when you're leaving, you can activate the keypad and actually close the door behind you. So that's pretty nice. I'm just going to fly him right inside, right to my industrial forge, where he needs to be. Now you can get right up close and personal to the forge like so. You should be able to access the forge. Yep, you can. So really from this area you can access the Enki. I'm going to search for metal. A lot faster to just search for what you want than doing it all individually. I just typed in met, transfer all. I can hold a good amount because all my stats are in weight. It's part of the reason why, because it's just more efficient that way. And from this screen, I didn't show you on the menus feature video, and I wish I would have, but I'll show you right here. When you're on this screen, to turn this on, instead of coming all the way over to the middle to the forge and going down to turn on, you can turn it on that way, or you can be more efficient and just from anywhere, if you're on the left or on the right, wherever you are, you can hold down, you can hit R3, which is the right analog stick, just hit it in, it turns it on. It's a lot more efficient. You can do that with the grinder, with anything that you have to turn on and off. The right analog stick will turn it on and off, so you don't have to get out of the inventory and just hit triangle to turn it on. That's another method, or scrolling all the way over to the middle and down. It's actually a lot more efficient just to hit R3. And I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything I wanted to show you about how I gather metal. Hope you liked the video, and I will see you next time.